Hello, I'm Sam from Just Upstairs. The focus of my channel is to share and educate on how to buy less, buy better. It's not necessarily about buying less things, it's about buying something that fits its purpose perfectly and serves you for as long as possible. Now, I'm actually surprised that it took me this long to make this video. I thought that I actually had made it and had to check just to be sure, because this item of clothing has sort of become a uniform for me over the last 2 years or so. Also, surprisingly to some, this item is quite unique in my collection as it shares two unique features. First one being that it is one of my favorite things to wear, and the second thing is that it's not from Informale. That is, of course, my pair of Rowing Blazer Rugby jerseys. I'm very excited about this one because I think that the rugby jersey or rugby shirt might just be the perfect lazy man shirt, and I've been testing to see. These rugby jerseys are the ultimate way to wear a collar, but without being formal. I call it just formal. From being used over my gym gear on a nice mild day to keep warm, to being used as a layer over or under knitwear on a cold day, to wearing them just under a blazer for a night out, a rugby jersey can do it all. They also come in a range of different colors and styles, allowing you to be a bit more creative within this laziness. Honestly, I could happily wear one every day in every way and almost never feel out of place. It's also probably come as no surprise that it's another classic Ivy League style. So let's get into them. Finally, my two amazing heavyweight rugby shirts from Rowing Blazer. So I have two of these rugby jerseys. I'd love to own a few more, but they're not exactly affordable, as we'll find out soon. So I have the green bar car one, which is the one with the cute elephant and the car on the front of it that I was just wearing. And then I have this one, the rugby 1932. Japanese authentic heavyweight rugby, which is affectionately known by me as the Wally rugby or the Where's Wally jersey. Neither of these are on sale anymore, but when they were originally on sale, the bar was labeled as a luxurious heavyweight rugby and the Wally was labeled as a super heavyweight rugby. As far as I can tell, they're the exact same description, have been made the exact same way, but there are plenty of other options still in these styles and still being made. In reality, they both actually feel slightly different, but I think that that's probably down to the fabric and dyes being used in the fabric, but I don't really know. Anyway, let's get into the detail. So this is obviously a super heavyweight 400 gram or 14 ounce rugby jersey. It's made in Portugal, in Europe. Made from 100% cotton, and that cotton is woven in 12 gauge style. There is obviously a rugby collar, 3 buttons on the plaque, rib cuffs, and for all of that you're going to pay 350 Australian dollars. And yes, that's why I don't have very many of them. As for the size, I got a large in both and they fit me really nicely, but we'll talk about that in a little bit more detail soon. Both of these arrived on the 2nd of February 2021, so a little while ago. Firstly, I wanted to do a quick who are Rowing Blazer because they're a pretty cool company in my view. Rowing Blazer is an American clothing brand and design lab for the classics, founded by Jack Carlson. I'll do my best to paraphrase my favorite bits from their About Us page, but there's quite a lot there and actually there are quite a few cool details and facts, so it is worth a read if you are at all interested. So a bit of the quoting: "We are dedicated to authenticity, quality and craftsmanship. There's a sense of humor, often a hint of irony in everything we do. Our timeless aesthetic, our dedication to historical research, and our commitment to making pieces that will last a lifetime." That just sort of speaks to who they are and what they do. I think another cool thing is that because of this, there are a number of world's leading sports teams and social clubs, including the US national rowing team and their rugby team, that use Rowing Blazer to produce their uniforms and outfits because they are so high quality and so well made. They're also known for their collaborations with other brands, big and small, including of course Baba, and more recently Winnie the Pooh and Sonic the Hedgehog, some pretty cool collaborations. The fit of these in a large is pretty much perfect. I have quite wide shoulders, so I fill them out quite well, but if you're a slender guy and you didn't fill it out quite well, I still think it would look quite cool, and I actually like that sort of slightly off the shoulder look for a rugby anyway. Through the body, there's you know, enough room to be very comfortable without it looking too boxy. I personally tuck my shirt in about 98% of the time, but it works out well both tucked or untucked. I can easily do up the buttons all the way, though that's not my style personally, and the collar is pretty good as well. It's not like an OCBD, but it sits comfortably up against your neck or under a jacket or coat, and I often wear it popped, but on a warmer day, it's nice to have it down. On a colder day, it is nice to pop it and have it shielding your neck and the sides of your face. The arm length is sort of slightly long, but as a short guy ordering a large, this is exactly what I typically expect. The ribbed cuffs typically help against this. They keep it nice and snug up against the wrist, so it's not really a big issue. Overall for me, the large fits about exactly how I would expect a large to fit my body. So it's a true to size garment. The materials are slightly different in each of these, which sort of affects how they fit me, so let me explain further. The Barbar's fabric is sort of stiffer than the Wally's. It feels sort of what I imagine my grandfather's rugby that he always seemed to wear feels like. It's sturdy, like it's got a job to do, but it's not too thick that it gets hot if I need to walk a bit faster somewhere. Basically my exact use case. It's starting to take on a lovely faded patina around some of the edges, but it's not fading too badly anywhere like that. And you can definitely tell that it is made to last a long time. The binding along the inside of the placket, which is just here, is really nice and sturdy, and the buttons are what feels like sort of a soft touch plastic, nothing too crazy. The collar fabric feels much the same as the rest of the garment, though obviously it's in white. It's nice to have around the neck. It stands up nicely or folds down if you're more into that sort of thing. Finally, the cuffs, which on the Barbar are much better than on my Wally and make me wear the Barbar a lot more frequently. The ones on the Barbar are not so tight against the wrist, but they feel reassuring, you know, they're not gonna move anywhere. And the fabric again is quite a sturdy cotton, so they tend to hold their shape really, really well, and they don't get floppy even after multiple wears. The final detail, of course, is the Barbar, this little guy just here, and this little red car. It's expertly done, it's super cool for anyone out there who knows who Barbar is. It's just a cool little nod. The Wally, on the other hand, is much softer all around. Starting with the cuffs, as I just complained about them, these cuffs feel a bit thicker, as in the fabric feels thicker. But it also feels quite soft and malleable, as in the cuff is quite soft and malleable. Now, that may seem like a good thing, but they're also a centimeter wider than the others, which means that they don't hold my wrist anywhere near as nicely. And because the fabric is softer, it means that there's a lot more flexibility in the sleeve cuff, and ends up being that my wrists just feel a bit sloppy. Maybe I'm a cuff snob, but so be it. I like to have nice tight cuffs. The rest of the Rugby is equally soft and luxurious, though the Wally was labeled as the super heavyweight and not the luxurious super heavyweight, so I'm not really sure what's going on there. The rest of the garment is the same as the Barbar. Same collar, same buttons, same embroidered patch on the chest, which is lovely, it's beautiful. It represents the cherry blossoms of Japan. This one has faded a lot less and looks as good as new with its red and off-white coloring. That's why earlier I said that I suspect that the dye has something to do with the fact that it's quite a lot softer. It is a lot softer, but it's also lasting a lot longer, whereas the other one is a little bit more stiff and sturdy, and them starting to see fade. So that's my guess as to why they fit a little bit different. I love this Rugby. I love the other Rugby. They're fantastic. I guess the final thing I wanted to comment on is the velvet, answering if I believe that they are worth $350 each. Well, over the last 2 years of wear, these things have some of the highest rotation in my wardrobe. Whether I'm wearing them as a layer over a t-shirt, OCBD, or just a layer by itself, I wear these probably too much, and I'm sure that my other shirts get jealous. Or they should. So to me, I find them extremely versatile, comfortable, warm but cold, and easy to wear in pretty much every occasion that I might have. I'm happy I paid the $250 for these, and I would so again, but for the purpose of the channel, I wanted to look at what other alternatives are there out there. Brands that you guys might think make a good Rugby that'll last a long time and be as versatile. In my mind, Rowing Blazer is the top tier of what a Rugby jersey should aspire to be. So hopefully over the coming weeks, months, and maybe even years, we can compare other brands to see how they stack up compared to Rowing Blazer and see if anyone can take that title, maybe at an even more affordable price. As I just said, Rowing Blazer makes some absolutely top tier rugby jerseys. They look and feel amazing. And they have quirky and original designs. I'm clearly a massive fan of the style, as I think it might just be the perfect shirt. Maybe Grandad was right. Maybe wearing a nice rugby to every event is the right idea. And along those lines, I wanted to leave you with a memory of mine. I remember standing in my kitchen, we were about to walk to dinner, and Pop, my grandfather, walked in wearing a faded rugby with a few small holes in it. Nana immediately told him, to go and change, and he looked at me and he said, "Luckily I packed my nice rugby," with a wink and a smile. And a few minutes later, he was basically back in that exact same shirt, but this time slightly less faded and slightly fewer holes. And out we went for dinner. It's truly a genius move, and something I aspire to pull off one day. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Links are in the description as always, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.